Welcome, Houston voters. My name is Michael Griffin, and I am a candidate for position number 1 in 2015. And I'm doing this video because I need your help. For all of you throughout the years, you know that I'm considered the oldest community activist in Houston. I always hate the word activist. I think concerned citizen is something that I've been very involved with. For most of you, my background, it was a former teacher, coach, athletic director of a small grammar school, St. Teresa's over in the Memorial area, going through college. And when I graduated, I was very honored to the president of the University of St. Thomas asked me if I would stay on just one year as assistant dean of men, working with the college kids and working with the athletic program. I was very fortunate to have a basketball scholarship going through University of St. Thomas, a fine, great school, and I always appreciated the opportunity. I've been at this game a long time, and some of you might know some of the things we worked on. Some of the things I think, as Councilman Bradford said, Griff, you got to let people know. Probably very few of you do know that I created the concept 14 years ago for the 311. It was because of you voters that I was on the campaign trail that said, sir, if you win, you got to help us out. There's no number in this city we can call when we have these emergencies like potholes or street lights out. And I said, I can't believe that. We need to get one. I called it the 311 pothole hotline. And I brought it for 2 years down to finally Mayor Brown and the council. They really liked the idea, and after working with them and showing the concept, they came up with the call the 311 self-help line. So all of you who have ever used this 311 self-help line can think about me at the voting box, because I think over 6,000 to 7,000 people a day, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the people for 311 and the director, because you've done a great job. I've heard nothing but positive comments for people, especially me as a senior citizen, especially senior citizens, that you know, they can't remember 12 different numbers. So the 311 has been a very big winner in this city. For those of you who like sports, I think a lot of you probably, if you went during the Oilers, you remember Griff's. After graduating from the University of St. Thomas, the president asked me to stay on as assistant dean, and that's where I worked for a year. And during that year, that's the big thing for the college kids, especially the girls. They were looking for a safe and fun place. I opened a place in 1965, a place called Griff's. Some of you might have been there. In fact, this September will be the 50th anniversary. And I'm very proud of the first 30 years that I worked there, that Griff's attained national status. Some of you probably don't know that Griff's is the only college sports pub in the state of Texas that made the top 10 Sports Illustrated. We came in number 3 with USA Today. Esquire magazine, we made the top 50 classic clubs in the country. So I'm very proud, and the opportunity of working with young children. My background has always been, like you say, coaching and teaching. So when they came to the new basketball arena, and for some reason they left out the families, some of you probably remember, I created the Families for Sports Fairness, where I met with all the owners of the teams, met with the commissioner of basketball, and we came up with a plan where at that time I think they only allowed 500 seats, $25 or less, and I thought, whoa, an average basketball ticket was $62. So I worked with several members from U of H, Rice Athletic Department, and we worked out a deal called Families for Sports Fairness, where we had with the team and worked very hard. In the beginning, they weren't as excited about working with with the kids. And so I worked with the other group to defeat the first arena vote. Yes, when they didn't consider the families involved, I thought that's ridiculous, because I think the average ticket was $60-something. And I went down to the Sports Authority and worked with them. I said, gentlemen, 7 out of 10 families in Houston can't afford to take their children. We need to have a special. So I worked with the Rockets and the Texans. We worked out a deal where they set aside 1,000 tickets under $20, which I thought was very reasonable. For was only for 3 years. So that's one of the things I'll be watching, because all of you like sports, you like to take a child in it, but you can't afford to go broke by going to the game. So as you said, I worked for many years with those problems. One of the big things that it probably affects you right now and is the drainage tax. Well, it's been in effect, I think, a little over 2 years. But if you remember, all of you back there, the mayor pushed a $5. That was the fee. It's going to be just $5. And as a senior citizen, they don't realize that, we're saying $5 more a month. I mean, we have to give up something. And when people got their bills and found out that it wasn't just 5, it was 100%, 200% higher. Immediately I went down, met with the mayor and the council, and I said, gentlemen, ma'am, I said, this is ridiculous. I mean, you promised us $5 and here it is. I mean, this is not what it came out to. And working with the mayor, after I got through working with her, she lowered the drainage fee. It's not much, but like my fee at my house here is like, it went from 14 to 11. So every month, just think, I'm the only candidate that saves you money every month on if you own a home, for your drainage tax. Now, some of the big things that I'm working on now, that I have been working on the last 2 or 3 years, is traffic. I think all of you agree the number one concern, I've been to a lot of meetings here lately, is traffic. Traffic is the number one concern in this city. And it's kind of a product of our own success. According to the Texas workforce, we're having 500 people a day moving to Houston. And you add those cars on, and when I talked to the director, I said, you mean the last 7 or 8 months they're having 500 new cars? He said, how about the last 2 years, Griff? And I went, God, they've been coming that long. So, thank God for our economy. We love that. For all of you going back to 1993, zoning. That's where I became involved in politics. Zoning was coming in, and I checked that out, and I felt that the more I looked at it, that Houston had grown without it. We had strong deed restrictions. I did some research, checking with different people. And it's funny how an article in the Wall Street Journal just came out that one of the great successes they attribute to Houston is that we don't have the zoning. Even though we're hearing these historical districts are coming up, people are going to be careful, because they're going to tell you what kind of paint you can paint your door and everything. And Houston has grown without all that stuff, but we got to be careful. Now you need somebody down there, like you said, who is going to ask questions. And these are the things that I've been concerned about. Like, for example, we're talking about potholes. Potholes is one of the biggest complaints. You hear that in the paper, you see it there. Well, I have a plan. There are 24 tiers, tax increment rebate. There are probably 24 management districts. I'm going to push that the management districts and the tiers start to take care of the potholes in their area, because they hit all these businessmen for the tax. And but see, no one watches what's going on. I hate to say that, but for the last 20 years, I've been a private investigator working for Griff's Investigations. And we do background checks and all these things. And I think City Hall needs somebody that's going to just check a little bit closer. I'm going to represent you. I mean, I don't want to pay any more than anyone else. And also, as being a small business owner for all my life, I think the small business. Was never big. At one time I had two restaurants at the time. But I mean, small business people, you people work so hard, and you need somebody behind you. Most of the people on city council, let's face it, they're attorneys. I mean, everybody puts down small business, but I mean, they're attorneys. I mean, they're not people that have got their own small business going. So I think that'll be something that I'll be very concerned with. So on behalf of all the campaign workers that have called, we're really going out on a limb this year. Position number one at large, last year I received 50,000 votes. Now I agree I did not spend, and I came in very late, because the candidate that had voted against, that ran against, had voted against senior citizens increasing their exemptions. And several senior citizen groups had called me. He said, Mr. Griffin, we need your help. And I said, well, it's very difficult to come up with this money all the time, but thank God that we worked on it. I think that at that time there's only 2 people voted against increasing senior citizen exemptions. So as a senior citizen, right now there's very few senior citizens on the city council. And we're losing one, like I said, Mr. Pennington, a good friend there, who's running for mayor. He'd make a great mayor. And so I believe senior citizens make up 30% of the voting. So these are the ones I'm asking for you. I think that we're not maybe as quick or fast as the younger guy, but I think we have more common sense. And I love the city, like I said. Just got back here from a St. Patrick's Day. I've been working with the parade committee, the rodeo. There's not too many groups in town that we've never, that we haven't worked with. And I've worked with probably maybe 50 or 60 charities through our lives. And I think if you call the Society of Prevent Blindness, you call Parents of Murdered Children, they'll say that we got to thank Griff's, the Hispanic Breakfast Club, Sunshine Kids. There's probably not too many places or too many charities that Griff's, when I was owner and ran that we hadn't taken care of and helped. So I do need your help, and we'll be setting up our campaign headquarters very, very soon. And if you get a chance, on our website, we'll be working on our website. And I do need your help. And Councilman Bradford, I want to thank him, former police chief, who said, Griff, you've got to let people know what you've done. What he told me, he said, you've affected more people in this city, but very few people know about it. So he said, if you're going to brag, you need to, because very few people know what you have done. So that's why I say this is one of our first little commercials that we're working with. My friend Chris is setting that up, and we appreciate that. And so we'll be calling. You're going to see a lot more in the near future. In fact, all of you, September 19th is the 50th anniversary of my former place of business is Griff's. So I'm inviting you all to come there. Griff's, like I said, is the only college sports pub that ever made the top 10 in American Sports Illustrated, USA Today, the Esquire magazine. So I'm very proud of the regulars and the people that in the industry that I work with. A lot of you don't know I was president of the Food and Beverage Association. I'm very concerned because we work real hard on making sure people don't take weapons into places that serve alcohol and food. And so I'm a big supporter of, listen, we don't need any weapons in our in our restaurants. I don't care. I'm a member of the National NRA, and I go along with a lot of their stuff, but I'm 100% against anybody going into restaurants. So there's a lot of things that I'll work on, and if anybody knows me, they know I stand up. I'm not very threatened by anybody. But I do need your help. We need 10,000 more votes than I got the last election to make the runoff, and after that, I think we can do it. So I want to thank all of you for listening, and I do need your help, and we'll be contacting a lot of you through our advertisement. And like I said, if you like what you saw at Griff's, you like what we've seen as a teacher and coach, all those students that I work with, I do need your vote. And thank God, and I'm too blessed to be depressed. Thank you. No matter